So this happened to me today.
Oh no! Oh no! No, you didn't!
The chicken tastes as if it's been sitting alone in a bucket for a while.
You know, when I first met Kyle, I couldn't have predicted how close we were gonna get. I mean, we're basically like brothers now. I mean, we talk all the time, we laugh at each other's jokes, no matter how horrible they might be. I mean, we're pretty freaking close. You know, I hate to say it, but I love him. You know what else I love? Combiner Wars Wave 6. I had no idea, just like Kyle, how attached I would get to this wave. I mean, going into it, you're like, oh, you know, he's just some stop motioner guy on YouTube, and ooh, he's a little, you know, just like everybody else. But no, you know, you get to know him, you get to have a better understanding of where they come from, and that's why I love Combiner Wars Wave 6. So, the whole point of this is, I'm wanting to weird you out, Kyle, so I hope I did that. But Combiner Wars Wave 6 is a lot of the same story. You look at it on the shelf and you're like, oh great, more of this. But then you get into it and you start trying to understand it, and you really see the effort, and there's dirt there. You really see the effort and the, you know, the passion behind these choices of these characters, except for Smokescreen. Everyone hates Smokescreen. Smokescreen, you can die in a hole right next to Scattershot. So, I'm wanting to talk today about the Combiner Wars Wave 6 Trailbreaker. And this mold was literally not on my radar at all, because we have it already. Well, my point is, we already had the best version of this mold. So what could this guy hope to achieve? Well, I don't know what he hoped to achieve, but achieve he did. Let's take a look at Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Wave 6 Trailbreaker. Not Trail Cutter, Trailbreaker. We got the name back, thank goodness. Not that it really mattered. We all called him Trailbreaker no matter what. So, obviously, he is the off-road Ironhide and, you know, obviously First Aid 2. He just a little bit different. That mold, that skeleton. He is the off-road and Ironhide version, which is good because he's a truck and it would have made no sense if he was an Amber Lamps. But yeah, you know, you can kind of see, we'll get them all in here real quick, just so you can kind of see the main differences between them. I mean, they're pretty comparable, if I do say so myself. Obviously, they're all the same thing. It's just different colors, different paint apps. Speaking of paint apps, let's take a look at him. He is a black truck, and he has these nice shiny silver rims, which are good. The front, he has silver headlights, a silver grille, and the bottom is just left unpainted. Nice Autobot logo right there. A very nice kind of, it's kind of got a sparkle to it, but it's a very cartoony blue, I think. On the side here, we have the Trailbreaker lines of color. Just a white line, 2 yellow lines, an orange line, and then a red line, and then back here, yellow, orange, and red again. So, yeah, that's some stuff. So, In the bed, you'll notice there's this silver thing. We'll get to it later. On the bumper, there's not a lot going on back there. But, you know, what really counts is on the sides. And he's a black truck, and he looks really sleek and really sharp. And I'm going to go ahead and just double, you know, bring these guys back in here. I will say it's just because he's a black truck that this is accomplished. But his panel lines are so much harder to pick out because he's a black truck. You know, on the red, it's super easy to pick out the panel lines. On the gray, it's super easy to pick out the panel lines. But on the black, you kind of have to look for him. I mean, he goes together a little bit, you know, he's more seamless is what I'm trying to say. And that's only because he's painted black. Black just does that, you know. So, good job, Trailbreaker, for being black. Oh, sorry. I mean, African American. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at his weapons, and I'm not even going to bother showing you the robot mode weapon because everyone knows what it looks like. It's that stupid axe that always comes with all these guys, you know? All the trucks come with the axe. So you don't even need to see it because you know what it looks like. I guarantee you have 15 of them. So just go look at them there. But the thing that is different about him is his hand-foot gun, which, you know, on first appearances, you'd be like, oh, that's the same. No. You're wrong. On the underside, it's number one, it's got a new thumb, which is awesome. And on the underside, it's got a new hand. So it's like a three-pronged hand, which is kind of cool. But the reason they did this, I'll show you this in robot mode. This right here. This, yeah, right here. Anyway, so this still pegs on to his truck bed, which in G1, he was not a truck. He was kind of an SUV. So this, realistically, this back half would have been not a truck bed. But this kind of halfway does that. It doesn't really work, but the effort's there, I guess. So since we're so close to leg mode, we might as well go ahead and do it. What you want to do is flip the thing out, take this, boom, put it here. We're going to have to finagle a little bit. Take the top of the truck. Boom, click it back like that, and then get these legs out of the way a little bit. Turn the head around, and I will say his head, okay, his head's right here. It kind of gets in the way a little bit when you're trying to put him in leg mode just because it's bigger, but hey, you'll figure it out. You're smart. So there's leg mode. And here in leg mode, amongst his colleagues, you will notice, now that you have 4 of these guys, it means you can finally have a symmetrical combiner. Sweet merciful Lord, this hits me on every level. It's so symmetrical! But seriously, kids, obsessive-compulsive disorder is a major problem, and if you have OCD, please feel free to talk about it after you take your 30th shower for the day. And with that, here's his arm mode. You know, it's the same thing, just that. I will say that his arms do tab together. On Ironhide and Off-Road, they don't tab onto the side of the truck. They just kind of hang there. But these guys tab on really well, so they fixed that. So that's something. So here's the old boy in his robot mode, and I hope you don't mind, but I skipped the transformation. I don't even know why I bother showing transformations anymore. I mean, 85% of these guys are stuff we've seen before, so if you got a problem with it, you can leave. Don't leave. I'll miss you. Yeah, anyway, here he is, and obviously you can tell there's a lot of black going on, but also some red and silver, so I mean, he stands apart from his friends, you know. He's got basically the whole chest area is black, with the exception of the Autobot symbol, and I'm finding it hard to see, like, his head is just this solid mass of black, and yeah, there we go. Let me pan up a little. Ooh, look at that new fancy camera, woo! I almost knocked him over. Anyway, so there's his head. So it looks really good. It looks really G1. It's all squared and nice, and you know he looks solid. But in robot mode, you know, you can tell. Pan back down. Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. This is an awesome camera. So you can tell, you know, he's just pretty much a solid wall of black with, you know, red and silver detailing, which kind of works because we don't have any solid black Combiner Wars figures, so he stands out on the shelf. So hey, there you go. I will say the arms, both sides of the arms from here down are brand new molding. Obviously this one's a gun, so like it has to be new molding. But instead of just slapping the old one on there for this side, they made a new one for that too. His hand's a little bit more squared and it's black, and yeah, it looks really cool. I'll compare him overall to everyone else in a minute. But he's got red thighs and some nice, the detailing on his legs is different from Ironhide, but it's the same as Off-Road's. But while we're in robot mode, I want to stress something. Remember how I talked about this hand-foot gun and how this would come in handy later? Well, it's about to. So in G1, Trailbreaker had a force field generator that, you know, hung out above his head. This kind of replicates that, and it changes his silhouette in a way that I just love. So basically, you can kind of wedge this bad boy back in here, back behind here, and close up the cab of the truck. And some people open up the hand so it kind of hangs over his head. I really don't, because it kind of stinks. It looks kind of dumb. But there you go. You've got him with that kind of new... It kind of changes up his silhouette and changes up the proportions. I mean, he's still got a backpack, but he's got the silver detailing back there that kind of breaks up the monotony of black. So I wanted to show him before, and this isn't official. This is like a fan thing to do. This is a fan mode. But I wanted to show him before and what he looked like stock versus this now. I always display mine like this. So there is that. So let's compare him to his friends. So here you can see all the truck bots in their glory. Obviously, they all look totally different, which is great. I mean, obviously, they've got the same basic skeleton, but they just couldn't be any more different personality-wise. You know, Off-Road's colors are so dull and dark, and then you got the pure, like, black and red Trailbreaker. Then you've got Ironhide, who's red and gray, and I kind of dig the dynamic between Ironhide and Trailbreaker. They're almost inverses of each other. If Ironhide's grays were black, they would almost be totally inversed, because Ironhide's mostly red with gray, and Trailbreaker's mostly black with red. So it's kind of neat to see. It's like they're reversed. And then we got First Aid, who's different in his own way, but also pretty similar. So there they all are, and they look super cool together. And now you can totally see what I mean. How Trailbreaker's new hands and arm, or his new arms and the backpack kind of hack that I do, changes him up just a little bit to where he's not identical. I mean, he's close, but he's not identical. So, and then here's one more group shot I just had to get. At this point, I have no plans on getting Smokescreen, and you know, we don't know how much further Combiner Wars is going to go, so at this point, we can assume that these are all the deluxe Autobots we're going to get, just like deluxe Autobots from the basic G1 cast, I mean. So I wanted to kind of get a group together and just show all the Wave 4 and the Wave 6 guys that I got, just show them together and just kind of see how seamlessly they integrate. The colors just work with one another. I think that they did a great job, even though there are certain differences between Wave 4 and Wave 6. I think they did a great job making sure that all the Autobot color palettes would work off of one another and work together. So although these guys don't have matching color schemes, their colors and their color palettes directly relate them to one another, and I just kind of wanted to show that off. It's really neat when it's all said and done to see, like, oh wow, all the Decepticons are kind of dull and muted colors, and all the Autobots are these really bright, vibrant colors, and it's just so cool to see. So that's my man Trailbreaker. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I had zero expectation for this guy. I thought he was just going to be another one of the frickin' truck bots. But in all honesty, he has surprised me. He's definitely the best version of the, you know, the standard truck, that's excluding First Aid. And he's in the contention for, you know, even superseding First Aid in his spot of the top of that mold. The color layout, the new arms, the new way he can do his backpack, all that just really, really drives home this character. And the fact that they fixed, you know, one of the major problems with this mold in that his arms wouldn't tab together when he was in the combiner arm mode, that's awesome. It shows progress. And as much as I dig all these Combiner Wars figures, I think that it's not difficult to say that Wave 6 really shows the progression of where we came from. So they took molds that we've already had, molds that, frankly, we're starting to get tired of. And they managed to pull all these good aspects out of them towards the very end of the line. And I would rather it have ended on this note than, you know, bringing out some new figures, new molds that were rushed and lazy. I would rather have, you know, kind of like this is like a masterpiece version of the truck mold. I that's the way I see it. So, and when I say masterpiece, I don't mean like super high quality. I mean this is the best it can be. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'll see you later. I still plan on getting Computron, so it's not the end of Combiner Wars on this channel. And, you know, I look forward to seeing you guys later. Bye!